That was the dinosaurs, the famous dinosaurs from Pee Wee Herman's big, huge movie back in the day. And they are located in Cabazon, California. And that is along my route to go most anywhere west out of the valley where I am currently located. This is your Coachella Valley concierge. And knock, knock. Who is there?
You gonna open the door or what? Come on, man, open the door. What you ain't gonna open the door? You say knock knock, but you ain't gonna say hello. Shit. What the fuck? What up, y'all? It's me, yo, Colorado comedian Will Smith. Hanging with out there in this Cali thing. Well, I guess we gonna talk about something. Is that what you trying to say?
No, not at all. I just like to share different like landmarks and cool things and places between Vegas and California state line. You know, being
Okay,
the
cool.
being
Now,
growing up here in the Coachella Valley and then being the variety concierge of Vegas for so many years,
uh,
I just decided that I just combine the two. It's Cali, Nevada to me, you know?
Cali, Nevada.
Hmm.
Which is weird because you're talking to somebody that is in neither state, Missy. Um,
You know what? I am so West Coast
so
based.
I'm just kind of,
I have to remember. Hold on. I have to remember. Let me hold on. Ring, 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 ring. Hello. Yes.
hello.
Hello, Miss Flower. You are an hour ahead. The city you're currently in is Colorado. Oh, that's the state. But yes, I hear you. Okay, got you. Okay, so the time now is 11:30. It's almost noon, and we are straight out of Colorado. Woo! And it is snowing and icy out there. Yes.
Not yet, not yet. We're waiting on it. We're waiting on it. And then, as they say, no, we're just kind of, something's going on. Something's going on.
Yeah. So Colorado, yes, I like to tap in with Colorado because I not only do I really enjoy being home when I'm in Colorado, but I've always really just liked the people and the get down. The nightlife is
Right.
kind of cool. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely artist vibe. There's a lot of culture out there. The food is amazing, and now we have a comedy hitting the scene pretty largely thanks to the Colorado comedian who has been working relentlessly to build these comedy shows and invite people from all over to partake in them. And he
Now,
also,
hold on. The reason why I'm doing it is because there's not a lot of people that want to do comedy in Colorado. I mean, I've heard of Texas, I've heard of Wyoming, uh, California, New York, but there has never ever been, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's like, oh, we're gonna base it in Colorado. Never happened.
I think that that's an amazing base for comedy. I really believe that there is a nice, strong avenue for some amazing, cool comedy shows there. There's just too many really great designed, seedy venues and shit there, man. Like, I mean, the dungeon of Club 1082, which 1082 Broadway, which then became Club Vinyls. Even just the basement alone of that place, a comedy night would rock. But what do I know?
Well, here we go again. You're also bringing up things to where people go, how come they're not? Well, the reason how come is because you guys
Does it?
fly into Denver a lot. Think about it. When you hit your little plane tickets and all that stuff, you stop in Denver at least once in your lifetime. So there's not to say that, who's to say that I haven't put a comedy show out there at DIA?
Now, I was just gonna say that, especially now that they built the new hotel that's attached to the airport, you might as well run a comedy lounge there and just have full time comedians coming in and out of there. What a great place for a up and coming comedian to be
Ah,
spotted by some amazing person while they're just on a flight or on their way waiting for another flight. I mean, that would create legacy fucking stories.
well, not only
Legacy.
that, but as I say, as many years as things that I've been in Colorado, DIA used to be called Stapleton. Stapleton here was a little airport that was in the middle of Colorado, like middle of Denver. That was really, really cool. 5-10 minutes.
So I know Stapleton Airport very well. That's
Right.
where all of the communications and all of the reservations were still done for many years for United. I know the Stapleton area very well. Yeah.
So now remember, so going from Stapleton, they switched Stapleton and then they built DIA. Now,
Huh?
the dynamics of it all, it was more or less of I was seeing it as little as I was as that is the best way that if you want somebody to know where you're from, you got to hit the airport.
Yeah. Hey, let's not talk too much about that because I want to talk to you. We're going to go in depth in that. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
but in the meantime, I will say this. I think that with what we just talked about, I think that we need to reach out to Pauly Shore.
If he wants,
No, that's for the idea that I'm about to hit you with. I think that we need to just go ahead and give him a call. And Pauly is a great guy. His brother Scott, I've known him since I was very young, and not very young, like underage, but like 18 to 20s in there, 21. Okay. And Pauly's an amazing guy, but I think
I've watched some of this thing, so it's kind of where I'm going. You're just touching on my childhood, if that makes any sense. But let's mix.
I mean, like nobody should be touching on children during their childhood, but yes, exactly.
You know it. You know what I mean. What I mean.
Look even saying that when you go back to your childhood, you even think of those emotions or those kind of sparks that sparked in you from that history of your childhood. Yeah. Of who you wanted to be and the things that you liked or didn't like or the mannerisms of other people that you were like, well, that's a little weird, or hey, that's kind of cool, or hey, that guy's funny, right? Why did you become a comedian, Colorado comedian?
I got a lot of pain. I've done a lot of damage. I've got a lot of pain. And at the switch in my life, I just switched it over and said, you know what? It's now just a full-on joke to me. I'm going to laugh till I die. And since I can do it, then I'm going to make everybody else do it, honestly. I mean, it's been one of those, I can't really, it's like, I'm not trying to say I'm describing it. Everybody says that they bring their pain to the stage. Well, I'm always in pain. Always in pain.
No, that's understood. Yeah.
I always owe a landlord. I always owe lights, but then that's the life that I live. I'm in that life. I'm in everybody's life. Whether you come across me or you don't come across me, when you see me, say hi, and you meet me, I'm in your life.
Yeah, you got to turn pain into progress for sure.
And at certain times that I've come across and I've said certain things to certain people that they're going, well, he knows what he's talking about. No, I'm just as fucked up as you are. I just now have a voice that I'm listening to, which is my own voice, that has changed everything. I'm talking to myself. I'm listening to myself. I am no longer listening to what everybody tells me because I was told I have my own mind at 18. Ugh. Shit.
You only got to start using your own mind at 18?
I've been using my own mind for a while, as they say, but as they say, it's been conditioned wrong.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel it. Like you were the like epitome of these are the instructions laid out on how I should do things. I see no problem with it. This is how I'm doing things, and I understand directions from my parents and my advisors, and I see nothing wrong. And then at 18, they were like, well, you can make your own choices, and you're like, wait, what? Like,
how did you? Yeah, and then see, that's where it ends up being like, okay, so you're telling me at 18 I can make my own choices, but you're gonna kick me out of my house? And then as they say, the filtering of life that has changed it to where I'm so upset with now generation of going, you don't understand what it was back then. The cell phone? Are you sick? What the fuck is a cell phone? Are you come on
Yeah.
now? It was pagers and phones that were coming out the street. You know, pay phones. That's cell phones and pagers. That's what that was all about. But you only had that when you was dealing drugs. So I'm not gonna start that. Yeah, yeah. You know, yeah. I just don't want to start that. But then that's where you also ask,
Yeah.
is it what has made me, like you said earlier, you know, what has made me become a comedian is because no, I'm pointing that out now. Back then, we didn't have this shit. We were
Right.
dial-up communications back then. You wanted to talk to somebody, you went to your house phone, picked up the fucking phone, dialed 9 fucking numbers, and said, "Hello, how are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I speak to so and so?" And if you couldn't see or talk to them, they ain't here. Oh, okay. Well, then you hang up the phone. Go outside, play for a little bit, come right back in, pick up the phone again.
You had to go find people. You had to go find people, find their bike sitting over here, you know.
Yeah, I was at my house was one of those houses with the bikes
I
and stuff
still
in the
go
front.
do the same thing. I might pull up and, you know, look for your car up over here, over there. You
It
know.
hasn't changed though, but the change now is I can sit there and sit on my cell phone and be, all right, what you doing? And you don't got to respond for a month and later, 2 years later. You ain't shit. Come on now.
That's true. I remember I used to really enjoy writing letters, and
Mm-hmm.
I would like write my friends letters and mail them. I mean, going to like the post office to get stamps to write my letters. I used to write record labels, and I used to write to like all the fan clubs and all the, and not as like a fan, but like as an advisor, I think. Like
Well, and here again,
was,
that's the
I
only
just
thing that
I
it did
loved
for
that
you
form of
was that
communication.
changed, and it actually, as they say, it trained you to, as they say, put you back in. What happens if everything electronic is gone and you are resorted back to pen and paper? Can you write down the words you're supposed to write down?
I had a PO box when I was like 16, um, because I wanted people from I wanted to mail out my PO box address to like everywhere in the world, so I'd get all types of letters and gifts and things and
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, like fan club type stuff for myself. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. And but that is long since gone away, and now everybody's an Instagram post away from each other.
Yep.
And you're
You know why,
right.
right?
You're right. It's the I went out recently over the holidays in Hollywood, and I was I was actually shocked by how many people walked up to me in person and were like that knew me, like that
Uh-huh.
knew me in person, not from the internet and not from like my picture, because you know I don't do a lot of like facial on the internet, not yet. This year
There's
things are
two
changing,
people in my life. There's two. You're
but yeah,
the
so
second one.
and
But go
I
ahead.
just thought that was like the coolest thing, that I know for sure that at least in the places that I go, that I people like I've done enough in-person work, solid, you know, person to person relationships built organically, that people know me and who I am for real and recognize me in real life,
Uh-huh.
not from the internet or the computer. And I think that was really cool. Like that made me feel really like accomplished in a way, because
Mm-hmm.
to know that I had, you know, I did this before, like you said, before there was the cell phones and the computers and all that stuff. And it was a whole nother world then. And you know, yeah, there was cameras and video cameras and things like
But
that,
it
but I
wasn't
never
the
got to
same.
do.
It wasn't. How can the best way that I can put it, as they say, it's a step adventure everywhere that I've gone and everything that I've done.
Yeah.
With me putting down a lot of. See, now you're making me use my good morning brain. Good morning. But with me putting down, or me with me understanding and studying how you're supposed to be on stage and how you're supposed to present yourself, it's been that's been my adventure and what has created what I've called the Colorado Comedian.
Yeah.
When it got down to the basis of I've done security, I've done gas station work, I've done McDonald's, I've done all those silly-ended ass, stupid ass jobs everybody else has done too. But I've always found comedy in everything that we're doing because we're down at the bottom. Everybody starts down at the bottom.
Yeah.
When everybody started down at the bottom, there was somebody right next to you that you looked at each other and you said, okay, we're going to make it. We're going to make it to the next step together. Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. So you make it to the next step. They make it to the next step. All of a sudden they notice that that person next to you is doing the same thing you're doing. So what do? They promote that person. They don't see you. Now you're worried about the person behind you because they got promoted. Well, you know, here we go again. There's that stupid shit. And how did they get promoted? Because they know how the savvy and how to talk. Oh, okay, you know, fuck that.
I'm glad you spoke on that because that's a really big thing that we are facing here on our, you know, again, our Cali, Nevada line here. And it's something that we've decided to change. A lot of the collaborators and a lot of the business people and the people who have already, you know, made their way are you know, years ago, there was no lane, there was no option, there was no opportunity.
No.
And so, you know, yeah, you know, people and then this stealed opportunities, missed opportunities, misplaced opportunities, the fight to get to the top. It's not it should the only competition should be in the quality of what you're providing, not the actual what is provided. So we've decided that we're starting alliances and we are, you know, again, we're either forcing you to work together or we're going to force you out of the business.
One or two.
We're not doing it no more. If you're, everybody should look around, like you said, and you're at the same level with at least 5 other people. Work to fucking together. Push the brands together. Push everybody's brand or pick the one that's going to ride and everybody ride with it. And that's kind of how it has to be. Because the thing about it is there are people who have already made it who are now able to be in a position to come back down here and grab handfuls at a time. And they're doing it. And so it shouldn't be a competition at our levels to say, hey, these 5 people, yeah, they're the ones that we want you to scoop up next. Yes, please take them because then they'll come back to get us. That's just how it is. You're supposed to teach one, each one teach one. That's how it's always supposed to been. And it got to a point where everybody just stopped teaching the next person and decided to just learn things and that's cool and all, but you don't really get anywhere doing that because once you get burnt out and the next big thing ain't came along, it's just there's ways to do things and it's been done wrong for so long and we have an opportunity right now moving into the future. And I like the way that it looks. I think that a lot of people are being called out on their bullshit, and I think that people are being acknowledged and praised or starting to that
some are
the ones that have put in the work. You know how you were saying like this person passed you over here, but like you was right here doing the same work. Like what is you doing? Like we could have got the bag together. Like just because you could speak this way, well, I had the guts of the glory over here, but if we would have literally sat down for 5 minutes and made a play together, we could have both made the play together. The person making the payment usually doesn't have the idea or the know-how or the want to. They just have the paycheck. So why can't everybody get the paycheck? It's so confusing. Like,
because here we go again. That person that has the money has turned around and said, I want the idea and I want to be the author or the proprietor or creator of that particular idea. As long as I have the idea, I paid for the idea, that should be my idea. That's not how it works.
Right.
The creation of the wherever it was created from the idea should be the people. You understand what I'm saying? Those people that created that idea should be the one being paid for what they're worth. And the person that runs the company should be able to pay them and still stay on top of the company because we're all profiting from one particular idea.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that means common sense has been involved. Oh Jesus, that
Well,
means I
yeah.
went to school. Oh my God.
I'm convinced that you have to remember there is no current common sense because there is no sense that's common.
True. But then again, yeah.
We're the last generation that had anything to do with what we call common sense because we
Right.
had a sense that was common. And the newer generations that are under us, they don't have a common sense because they don't have the same senses. They all have completely different types of senses,
True.
and they do not have a common factor.
Mm-hmm. But then you're also adding to the point of, again, who is controlling said say what. But anyways, moving on.
Yeah. Moving right along. How has your New Year's been? Did you do anything exciting over the holidays, or do you have any upcoming shows coming up in the next, like, I don't know, 30 to 45 days?
Mm, okay, so
Anything before March?
yeah, let's put it like this. Everything fell through for my jokes in the snow. I was supposed to be in December.
That's right. Yes. I was
Excuse me.
I was waiting for an update. It's a little bit difficult. This year was really hard for a lot of people to maneuver.
Yeah, so it ended up, yeah, it got kind of bad. As I say, long story short, I had to turn myself in and take care of some other stuff along with trying to stay where I was at for rent. So moving right along, I ended up pushing forward, and as I say, probably doing jokes in the snow as soon as I get some snow here in Colorado. We've been paying attention to the weather here, and I've gotten an inch. I'm waiting for my whole. Oh, I've been snowed in, and
What
where am
you
I?
could do, and hear
You
me
know,
out. I think this is brilliant. You could go ahead and plan the jokes in the snow for whatever date
Mhm.
because the joke would be there's no snow.
True. That would be kind of
And
funny,
that
but
would go over so fucking well.
they'd be like, "Oh, that's really," that made my annual
Like,
nurse for me.
literally have it like by a pool and be like, well, we
Jokes in the
have
snow. That's what I called it.
you guys
And
get
probably
swim
my
today.
backyard if I get a backyard here pretty soon. But don't be giving out tidbits. I throw around ideas like that too. Anyways, I will be here soon trying to, as they say,
I
pull
figure
off
by
jokes.
the time anybody listens to us, we'll have already had like 4 shows. So.
Yeah, basically, I'm still doing.
By the time this news feed gets popular, it'll be like, we would have already accomplished this year's goals, hopefully.
You're like, what did you watch? You're like, oh, I watched Jokes in the Snow. Who does jokes in the snow? Nobody does jokes in the snow. Honestly, I've never seen a comedian jump in the snow. I'm going to tell the fucking joke. No, that doesn't work that way. That's why I like the idea so much. But anyways, I will be doing my pit stop.
Outside a nightclub with a drunk guy trying to get you into their car, trying to be funny as hell at 2 o'clock in the morning. Those are jokes in the snow.
That's a joke in the snow.
Matter of fact, all those kind of men are jokes in the snow.
Joke in a car. That's what that is.
But I also think that the girls out dressed like that, dressed like they're going to a, summer party in the middle of the snow with no coat and no clothes is also a joke. So
yeah, that's why there's no hookers in Colorado.
there's hookers in Colorado.
Where?
I
There ain't
know
no underground. There ain't no under snow hookers in here.
several.
They're called snow bunnies. The hookers are no
several.
longer. Yeah, they're called snow bunnies.
Maybe I shouldn't say that. Allegedly.
Oh, now no, I'll say
That's
that.
no, I'm saying there's definitely Colorado hookers,
Snow bunnies.
and they be getting their bag, and they will travel. They are mobile. They get to it.
Snow bunnies in the snow. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. No. Thank you. Let's see. I've had one, and I'll never have another. No.
They get cracking over there at the Mont Chalet.
Are you? Woo. You've been downtown too, huh?
It'd be cracking. I'll
Mm-mm,
go.
mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Yep, as I say, and now they got. I'm trying to talk with some people up in Central City to see if I can try to do a spot up there too, but that's harder to get involved with.
Up where?
Central City. Hmm?
Okay. That's now. Is that on the way up to Aspen? That's the one of the first little cities, or is that on the other side down south by the other direction?
More, it's more in the other direction. If you hit Central City, you're basically hitting more closer towards shit. Estes Park and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? It ties into Aspen and all that a little bit differently,
No.
but
It goes the other direction. That's that one road when you split, and instead of going on the 70, you go up the hill to the mountain. Okay, I remember now. Yeah. No, I just remember one time when I was going down to Colorado Springs, I saw that there was another exit for some casinos that were down that direction. I can't remember the name of those ones though, but I've
no,
never been to those casinos.
I think that's Carson City, I believe.
Okay.
My memory's so
Yeah,
shot right now. I'm being so
something like
old,
that.
but
Yeah, I like Central City. I have a friend up there that goes up there a lot and gambles. My brothers and them used to go up there all the time and go gamble.
yeah.
I actually had a good time. I went up there with my sister and her do one time, and that was fun. I did marketing for Keystone one year
Hmm,
when I was working for a marketing firm, and so Keystone Properties up there with like the hot tubs and everything
right.
in the springs. Yeah, I like Glenwood Springs, probably the best out of all of those mountain towns. When I was younger, I had my daughter in my 20s somewhere, and I took the bus. I didn't make the drive from state to state. It was just a little bit too much for me. I like to drive and all that, but I just didn't have like a good car that was going to take it state to state in those weathers.
Right.
I would take the Greyhound because the Greyhound was like, it was like I could get on the bus at 5 o'clock in the nighttime in Colorado, like out of Denver, and I would wake up in Vegas for like breakfast, lunch type of thing. And the bus station there was next door to the Plaza Hotel, which had like anything I needed restaurant wise, bathroom wise, whatever. And that was like my couple hours in Vegas. And it was like, and even with the baby, it was easy to maneuver. And because she was a newborn, like she was like under a year old,
Uh-huh.
and in a car, like the tight, like little enough to be like in a car seat and everything.
Uh-huh.
And then I would travel into California. So I would travel back and forth that way. And I do not remember the point of the story. Oh yes. And we would go through the mountain towns on the stop on the Greyhound.
Uh-huh.
And it just was such a comfortable feeling. It was the way that the mountains sound. It was the echoes of the canyons. It was the briskness of the air. There's just the history that to be through all of that empty land space between states and through the mountains that is so majestic. And I think that that's when I kind of like fell in love with Colorado. When I first ended up in Denver and Colorado area, I ended up there like on a whim. My sister and them were like moving. They had packed up their stuff, two women that were beating domestic violence, and they were leaving their husbands, and we were going to Denver, and they both worked for United. And so like they had jobs, and we had to go, and we were, well, like, we're famous in Denver. We stayed at the Samaritan House. We stayed at the Samaritan House. We were known as the sisters.
Oh my
It was a whole thing. Yeah.
What
And
year?
we made our way, and then both of my sisters ended up into home ownership, and I ended up into, ownership of the things, and then moving state to state. And we really are like one of those case studies that came from somewhere and like made it successful, right?
What year were you guys at the Samaritan House?
Um, let's see. So we first started working at Samaritan House. What year did we go to Denver? It's like 2000-ish, 2000-ish, 2001. And then we continued to volunteer to go back, and like we would go back and help serve volunteer days, serve meals at the rescue mission and at
Mhm.
Samaritan House. We
Interesting.
stayed good friends with the counselors over there for
Yeah,
years
I
after.
used to do cooking at the Samaritan House, so that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, I really enjoyed that part of my life to a factor and an effect of survival. I really kind of proved to myself that I could go anywhere and be anywhere. I mean, I'd never been to any kind of environment that was so harsh like that. I grew up in, California, Sunshine State, California waters and desert, and I'd never traveled that far when I was younger. And so ending up in Colorado in the middle of snow season, it was October, it was Halloween, and with people, that I wasn't really close with, to the effect of like my life being on the line.
Hmm.
It was an experience. I didn't have any job, I didn't have much money. It just was like, and I was becoming, um, I had really severe arthritis even back then, so like my knees were always a little wonky, but I totally had mobility. I was moving around. So yeah. And then that experience I mean, not working at a shelter, but like staying at a shelter, and I'm just so thankful, like, I didn't have to I did well, I'm not thankful, but I just either way, like, I didn't experience having to stay, like, on the singles floor. That was scary, like, that seemed really scary. I stayed on the family floor because that's where we were at with it. So, that was a little different.
So that's where I would also add into the fact of what you experienced was almost the same thing that I was going through also. But like I said, that's when you had asked me earlier about why did I change it, and I was like, because it was comedy to me.
Yeah,
They treat people differently, and if you're in the same spots, you're just treated differently. I was
yeah,
treated as basically as they say, a homeless man on the streets. That's what they wanted, and that's what they saw me as. They didn't see me as a United States Navy veteran. They didn't see that. They didn't see me as a high school second string or first string quarterback, the second black one in his school. I mean, there's certain things that I've accomplished in my life. You don't see that. What you see is another black male that is taking up space.
yeah. Just another count for the night,
Exactly.
another another meal count, another bed count,
Yep.
another mark for the books, so
Hmm.
we sure that we get the check that keeps this place open.
Oh, but then you
And you
got to
know
be
what it
careful
comes
with the
from?
check,
It comes
because
from
now,
quality.
here you go. You got to be
I
careful
think
with
it
the
comes
check
from
now,
quality.
because sure enough, somebody's looking at that going, okay, so we sent you all this money. Why isn't things getting taken care of? Ooh, problem. But I'm
Yeah,
not.
it goes back to for a while there, those kind of programs kind of all got raped from like really bad people that were running them.
Yeah.
And not just that program. I'm not just specifically talking about there. I'm talking about like all over the world, right?
Hmm.
And then bad
Hmm.
counselors. So they start hiring inside counselors who aren't going to do anything, who are going to look the other way, who aren't going to care. And then
Exactly.
they start ripping and raping raping the coffers. And why can't I say this word? Good morning. Pilgrim. Say the word for me.
Pilgrims,
Pilgrim.
pilgrimage,
Yes. Yes.
pilgrimage,
But ing.
pilgriming, pilgrim. What? That's not even
Now
a
add
word.
the ing on the end. It's
Pilgrimaging.
pilgrimaging. Yes. There we go. I don't
Yeah,
know why
pilgrimage.
I don't know why my tongue didn't want to say that. It wasn't my tongue. It was like my upper and bottom right hand lip would
Uh-huh.
not let me say that word. That's
Okay, yeah, because that got me to the point of going. You're going pilgrimaging, and I don't even. I need to get a dictionary word on that one, because I don't even know if that's a word. That's.
it is. It is.
Okay. I believe you. That's just.
It is. And because if I can, but that is always part of like lately when I have like a hard time spitting out words is because I was always a very big pronunciation person, right? So pronunciation, and so anything is actually a word if you can completely and correctly and clearly pronounce it. It then becomes a word that you have spoken. So, yeah, right.
But
So
you
it
also have
might
to
not be
realize.
counted an English
Come on
word
now,
in the dictionary,
real quick,
but
real quick.
if you can clearly pronounce it
Uh-huh.
with all of its decibels to be what it is, then it is. It now become your word to say.
Okay. Yeah, you know, you can't mess with me like that. I've been married before too. I don't fuck around. Hey, you want. Hey, I believe you too. So as
I
I say,
mean, think about how after Big Worm came through on Friday, it's the principality of the motherfucker.
and yeah, as I say, it depends on who's talking too. So
Right. In what context?
yeah. So no, I
Yeah.
agree with you.
So no. So what do you got? So right now you're focused on making sure that Jokes in the Snow comes to life at some point in this next next little snow season right here.
Yeah, because like you
And
said, it's kind of like a New Year's resolution in sort of things, the things coming up. So as I say, witnessing that this will be the 51st year that we're going to be running as being on this nice little rock of things. I just want to make sure that I put forward a certain legacy to where it did happen, and finally for once, get out. Finally, for once, it was me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would know it's me because you've seen this face before. You've seen me somewhere before. You know what I'm saying? Either on a television, at a Broncos game, at a Nuggets game, somewhere you've seen me, and that's where it's funny. But it's been here in Colorado. I
yeah.
go to Las Vegas. Nobody knows who the fuck the Colorado comedian is. Who the fuck? I've never seen that motherfucker. And then sure as shit, thanks to certain people out there, they kind of know, but I'm not as known. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, well then that's another thing that I intend to try to change this year. So like I'm obviously working a little bit this year. So and yeah, so I really think that you should join one of my live comedy night stream shows as I put it together, and you can advertise for as soon as you have your dates and your stuff ready for that. Jokes in the Snow too. You can advertise on that show
Mm-hmm.
as well for that. But yeah, I'm looking at probably doing. I think I skipped January's because I usually take January's off. I have lazy Januaries usually
Okay.
because yeah, for me, the holiday season, summers are really tough out here, right? In the
Okay.
desert. And then it goes straight into like fall, which is like then the productive season after the summer because you really can't work in the summer. Summer is for playtime here. And it just is. I can't explain it.
And that's where I guess that's where it's kind of funny when you bring up, as they say, where areas are. Um, with it being summer and where the desert's at, when summertime's out there, I've been down there. It's cool. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, it's more of a vacation. People want to go out there to just relax,
yeah.
kind of soak it in. I
Yeah,
see
so
it
the
as
fall,
that's
then in
exactly
the
where.
fall, is the first the productive months. So then the holidays get like super busy because it's also travel destination city, right? And
Mhm.
so then it's like all over the place, and everybody's all over the place. So you're trying to catch up with all your friends' holiday shows and things, and maybe throw one of your own in the middle there, and it's just like super overwhelming. So January and my birthday's in February. So January to February is usually like my chill month, my coffee month, like it's like you sit and have a sip somewhere, hot chocolate, and you know, yeah.
See, yeah,
But
you like to, as they say, soak it in during those months.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about throwing up like a Valentine's live stream because why not? There might be some lonely people sitting around the world. Not that they're lonely, they don't have to be lonely to watch the show and have some comedy, but if they're lonely, comedy can cheer them up. And I'm thinking about, and it's not just comedy, my live streams usually include music, interviews, behind the scenes, comedy. There's a few commercials, but it's commercials for all of the people who are involved, businesses. So it's like community support,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So I think that I'm gonna skip January's altogether. I was gonna have it next week, but I think we're just gonna go big for February and come back the way we should this year. So I'd like for you to join that live stream, Colorado Comedian, and hopefully you'll have a date for Jokes in the Snow and can get that going and moving forward.
Oh, most
Uh,
definitely. I'll keep you informed on it. It's just one of those, as they say, because I'm actually checking some things here now. Um, I guess I've connected with a lot of comedians from that I used to work with before I started, as they say, this little retirement pitch that I'm giving out. And you're going to actually be the first to know about this. Uh,
I've retired. This is the third time. Okay, I've retired 3 times already in my life, and this is the third time now I'm coming out of retirement.
this is different for me though.
Okay.
This one is where it's going to be a 3 year stretch. If nothing happens within the next 3 years, then this particular character is going to be laid to rest. And then the actual person that will, as they say, continue on, uh, he'll continue on the comedy side of the house, but it's just going to be under a specific artist that should be coming out later on the year. It depends on what happens in 3 years. Uh,
The crazy part about that is I completely 189% understand exactly what you said. Like for me, I've retired from 3 different actual professions. And as for like my characters, I have several and a few of them sit dormant. Some of them, show up for appearances. Some of them are full-fledged, never able to stop working because they control the board. And I just introduced a new character into the visual art world. And that should be interesting. So I can't say too much, but you'll be one of the first to know. But yeah, so I
we're not
look
off
forward
of record. When we stop recording, then yeah, that's another story. But other than that, you know.
look forward to the character of Ms. Thomas,
Hmm.
who is already known all over for the work that she does as herself.
Mhm.
So yeah, I look forward to that coming up on your network internet reality streaming platform soon. So
Awesome.
that's all.
Because I was like, yeah, we ain't gonna give out too much, but what I will say is, if you guys happen to have a chance, and you do happen to, as I say, you got your YouTube, Facebook, and all that stuff going on, you can find me right now on, as I say, Willie Smith, Willie Smith. No change, no different, nothing changed on that. But yeah, find me on Facebook for that one. And then if you really, really need to, go to the Colorado Comic. That's on YouTube, and you can basically see most of my stuff that's out there too. So,
YouTube, say it again, spell it for them so they get it right, because YouTube is a little tricky sometimes,
yeah,
especially
don't get
with
me wrong.
it's lots of people and things. So spell out how to exactly find you so they get to your channel.
For that one in particular, for the YouTube one, and I'm giving you the download, right? So don't tell everybody, got to stay away from the FBI and all them. But LILSMITTY 2237. Don't want me to say that again.
Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe they should just rewind the video.
Okay, so when you get
Rewind
to
the
that part,
video and get us some views and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, comment, share, all that good stuff.
because there's gonna be more coming out on that one, and that will, as they say, we're gonna tie in some things. And I hate to say that I'm gonna pull off a 50 cents thing, but I've got some film footage on some other people too.
You
For
know,
you.
you say that because like I've been doing concierge work and paparazzi work, I think since I was like so young, right? And I didn't
Mhm.
realize that's what I was doing because I wasn't really doing it that way, but in my mind I was collecting these images and photos. So over the years, people allow me into their space because I'm usually not somebody that just outs them, or I don't
Mhm.
take pictures and then just try to blast it or try to write off a
Mhm.
cloud. I usually never publish or circulate the pictures or videos. I usually just personal, like I just wanted to be there. And it dawned on me yesterday because I know that I've thought this before, but it was one of those memories that come up in your head like, haha, all of the video footage and pictures I have of so many things will probably be something that people will see in like 10 years, 20 years
Maybe.
from now on one of those like hidden footage or like just found footage or like,
Mhm.
I don't know. But now I don't know because with AI and everything, it takes the credibility away from like real interactions with some stuff. And so it's a
And
little
that's the
bit
problem.
interesting, scary to navigate. Yeah.
And then here you go. Then there you go. What's real and what's not. Now, I don't. I say that's another skit for something else. But I don't believe in AI due to the fact of how you can actually you can fornicate a picture that's in my head of my family and what we used to do back in the days, and now all of a sudden it's talking. Are you serious? Do you know how many nightmares I'd have from that shit? I don't need my dead mom talking to me. That doesn't work. Doesn't no no. She's dead. Let her be. I don't. No that no because
I have a love hate relationship with it only because for a very long time, um, they ask you these questions sometimes in interviews and sometimes on like these social tests,
mhm,
you know, how would you like to be, when you die, do you want to be cremated or buried, whatever. And I've always, my first choice is to be mummified.
okay,
My second choice is to be ceremonial royalty buried at sea. And
okay,
but the first choice would be to be mummified. And you know, my children, when I first talked about this, that they were like, "Wait, what? Huh? Like what? How would that even work?" And I said, "Well, again, like they would take all my living organs and all my stuff, put them in the jars, keep them going, whatever the case is, or
mhm,
hospital at this point. I'm sure it wouldn't be in a cave somewhere." And whatever, and my body would probably wither away. I said, but then when they found the younger version of me, that one being that they come across that they just know is me, somehow the ritual would take place, and I would assume they're I don't really know how it works, so don't pick my brain about it, but I want it to be lived on forever, so to speak, you feel me? But now
mhm,
with the advancement of AI and things, and my intelligence can be uploaded. Like my brain and my intelligence can be prolonged after my body is demised, and I can still be there to answer questions for my family or show up for things. And kind of like Princess Leona in the Haunted Mansion. Have you ever been to Disneyland?
a couple times. Well, Disney World, but I don't do the land part of it. But
Okay.
I was going to actually ask or actually ask you a question to the point of, aren't you doing that now?
And that's yes. So I'm glad you said that because I I made a promise to myself that I've always been somebody who I didn't take pictures. I never wanted to be in any pictures. If you came around me with the camera, if you got a picture of me, I'm literally like the neighbor on Tool Time. I will hop in your picture, but I'm gonna have my card hand in front, a bouquet of flowers, my cup. I'm literally like I would never let anybody have a full picture of me. I never liked that. I never thought that that was okay.
Hmm.
Maybe I come from the future where I knew this was all going to happen this way, whatever. Um, but so for me, Um, I made it a point now because I go back and look over my life and I don't have pictures of me when I was young and beautiful. There is no documentation or videos of me smiling or having fun or being young with my kids. I was just so against any proof of existence on Earth for whatever reason. Again, it could have been myself sending messages from the future. I don't really know where I came up with that. But
I
I
yeah,
also I also believed that I also would never put any pictures of my family in my house. Like I could never put pictures in a home because I had to be able to leave and I didn't want anyone to ever break in my home and find pictures of my loved ones and
uh-huh.
then put them in danger. Like so, but I made a promise to myself over the past couple years after my son passed that I would try to document more and I would try to be here present more for the people that have met me in my life, who
Mhm.
might meet me when I'm gone. And just for my intelligence, I owe it to myself to leave my intelligence resurrectable in some kind of form for the
Mhm.
future. So I'm working on
You're
that.
doing a good job. Doing a good job. Doing a good job.
I'm working on
You're doing a good job.
that.
Good job. Good job. Good job. The only reason why I said anything about it was just due to the fact of, even though, let's say, question wise, yeah, I have a problem with current technology within the world. And what has that done to, as they say, push me forward to just get things taken care of? It's just more or less of, I'm going to see if using technology to my advantage works out. Technology works out for everybody. You can now, as they say, you have AI systems that are creating records and stuff like that. They're getting record deals. AIs that are getting movie deals. AI,
Crazy.
everything that has to do with something with an AI to it is getting basically paid. That's what I get on my feeds. That's what I get on my, everything that I'm looking at now. Why now is the focus towards making the world wealthier, to when you should have done that back then.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. And I think that here's my theory is that we know that they've had the technology since the 1800s, but we also know that during this 1900s swept, whatever went wrong at the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, they've kept from us. We know this now. Like we know that they've kept these things from us and they've fed us this entertainment and this consumerism to keep us, involved and embalmed in this continuum, right?
Correct.
And we're just now kind of breaking free into this new frontier, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're correct. The things that they should have taught us and shown us and allowed us to advance for the 1900s or whenever we were right here, they controlled instead.
Correct.
They didn't allow us to create. I think maybe they believed it would create it out of control, out of conformity. And, in the long run, chaos, conformity, it's at the other end of the, chaos, conformity. Like, so I don't know. But they definitely, I feel, I oddly, in a way, feel cheated
Okay.
of the understanding of resources
Okay. Okay. Okay.
to enhance my creativity to advance the culture
Okay.
because nobody really explained to us all of the things that we could. They told us we could be anybody we wanted to be, but I don't remember anybody actually explaining the different avenues of how to get there and what to do. I remember a few things here and a few things there, a couple history stories, be taught a couple numbers. You're taught, intro to science, like, but nobody like I was. It comes to a point where they're like, well, what do you want? You have to like choose what you want to do, and then there's somebody who could teach you. But what if what if the vast knowledge of the world, you have no clue, like there's, how can you choose one thing? Like, I was always someone that I didn't, there was not one thing I could do,
Oh yeah,
like.
because you were also, as I say, given you were trained that way. You were told, whatever you set your mind to, you will have done, and it will happen. That's the difference of now compared to what people are doing. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference of then compared to what kids and things are doing now. Kids, things, and
But
now they're trying to find loopholes and skipping everything. You're missing
I
out
will
on
say
a
this, though. I will say this. All of this AI and everything everybody's able to advance and all of the things that people are able to do now is because of the blood and the sweat and the tears and the brains of the humans that have lived before you.
right.
For sure. So like my generation trained fucking AI. We have been under surveillance my whole life. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So everything that everybody's able to do and know and understand and learn out there, you are welcome, because my life has been a recording up there that's been analyzed, and every room I've ever walked into that I've been monitored and researched, and like my life has been a big research facility. Like that's I've always believed. So
Right. No, but I'm with you on that because that's exactly why is that backwards. Anyways, yeah.
I
But I'm
gotta
with you on
learn.
that.
I gotta learn how to put something in my background like you be doing.
I did and playing around with this computer, like you said. I've been there's certain things I've flipped around in this. Like, how did this? No, it's
Because I kind of like how I look always mysterious, just in the black background, and I like how when I speak, the little bubble around me, it kind of speaks too. But I would be cool to put like a background or something behind me.
no. You as you say, when you have the opportunity to, you'll have the chance to change, and you'll work it out. You'll work it out.
Yeah, honestly, I jumped right in with this podcasting, StreamYard talk show stuff because I was working with Anchor
Mm-hmm.
and developing like vocal podcast. And then when Doughboy introduced me to StreamYard, I was like, oh, this is easy. This is simple. The difference with like Anchor and stuff was I wasn't going live. I was recording and then I was putting together segments. So
Okay.
like it allowed me to insert commercials and insert audio and insert things that way, and then you produced a show. Like, you see what I'm saying? This is like streaming, right? It's a little
Right.
bit different. So I just haven't learned all of the techniques to like produce the show using the streaming. So,
Well,
and
and as I
also
say,
I think also I'm gonna get into the what is it, the Tiki Talkie? No. What is the one that they call, oh, Twitch Yard? Is it called Twitch Yard? Twitch Yard. One of those. Twitch. It's a streaming platform.
okay. Oh yeah, my
And
son uses Twitch. We do that on his video game.
yes, yes. So I think that I'm gonna have that going this year as well.
Look at you, see. And then here again, as I say, just doing some quick plugs. Uh, Junior and I, we have a small little gaming podcast that we do, that we go on Call of Duty together and we shoot zombies. We've talked
Oh,
a little
that is
bit
so
before,
cool.
and it's been one of those things that, yeah, I've recorded a couple ones where we had a 6-year-old kid jumped on with us, and we were like, "We're gonna get you back for pizza and soda soon, kid." And he's like, "Yeah, hurry, because my mom's calling me. We'll get you back." It's hilarious, hilarious, and it's, yeah, one of those things you just go, yeah, that's a step in the right direction too. Like I said, of ideas and stuff. So I've been kind of playing around with it. Haven't
That's
come
a
across.
cool. That is a cool parenthood thing to do, is to spend time with your kid. while safely allowing him to enter a space where he feels comfortable doing something like that. And then also, with him starting so young, it'll help him build so that he can monetize off of that. And then he'll be able to have, opportunities and
Mhm.
resources when he gets older to be able to do other things. So that's pretty cool.
Now the other part of that was is we were speaking basically, his level of talking with him. So it was kind of real interesting to cut down on a whole lot of the adult talk. And as I say, and have you ever tried to talk to a child? I mean, their conversation is interesting. It
Yeah.
slows you down a whole lot.
Yeah, I've had conversations with children. Um, yeah, sometimes I can choose to have conversations with children. I kind of like think of myself sometimes like on a holiday, like I'm that holiday post
Uh-huh.
person that like everybody stops to talk to and has a conversation with. And so definitely the kids and their conversation, but on the most part, I really, I'm not too big on kids and animals only because they're not mine, and
Uh-huh.
I feel like there's some kind of you know, um, liability there or something.
Right.
Like I just don't want to bother other people's kids and animals or whatever. Um, but kids are cool. I mean, like, well, if they're cool kids, like
Yeah, there's some out there that they got some
there's
issues. Don't get it
there's
wrong.
some, yeah, there's some kids you're like, but like I think that like I'm into like our kids, like our like my kids, your kid, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
our kids. I'm not really into like other people's kids.
And you know why, right?
I mean, like we might have a kids event and they can all like do cool stuff, but like I don't really have to like be on the interaction level with them at that point.
And that's the funny part is the reason why is because it ain't my kid. My kid know
Well,
better.
exactly.
It's
Like
my kid
I
know better.
really only prefer children that I am allowed to influence and discipline and treat like my own children and love and care for like my own children.
Wait till you get
Because that's what
grandkids.
really comes
I'm
down to it.
talking my
My
grandkids.
nieces and nephews, all my nieces and nephews from all my adopted families around you know what I'm saying? They know what it is with me.
Hmm.
Like I'm going, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
going. Something. But if your kid is disciplined to where they ain't got to get told nothing, then that's a plus for you. You know,
That's what
I'm
I'm
still
saying. No,
going
it's
to
just
tell them
me
no.
personally. No, no, no. Not my kid. Not gonna mess with it.
Exactly, which is why I limited that. When I was younger, I was around a lot more people. Like we were young, a lot of young moms raising kids, and then families and stuff. I've had a lot of little cousins and stuff like that from different various. And like I said, I've always been that stand up kind of person for when it comes to family and like looking out and type of deal. I don't know.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Oh no. Oh, CK. Come on, you should be asking me questions here, Missy. Don't be telling me about your life. What do you want to know about me?
Let's see. I thought we was just like I don't always be doing interviews. I just be having like conversations. I just be chatting with friends and stuff. I figure the best way to get to know people is like regularly. So I always like to think like when you asking people a bunch of questions, sometimes either they're trying to give you their best answer or they're trying to give you an answer that makes sense or they're answering honestly or whatever. But when you just have a simple conversation with people sometimes and
Hmm.
things come around and come about, then you get like your honest answers and then you get real emotion and you get side conversations, which is cool because then it's like real time with the person. And sometimes when people are watching these videos, I feel like they like to feel like they are there with you too. So
Okay.
chat if there's any questions that you would like to know about the Colorado comedian, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. And the next time he comes on, we will get to your questions. Or if you have any comedy dates or venues or shows, or if you're a comedian, please just reach out to us because we're very friendly around here. We allow people to kind of tell who they are and things like
And
that, and to find out a little bit more about everybody because we like people for the
I'm
most
gonna
part.
do this really, really. I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna do this time because, as they say, I like I said earlier, I deal with a lot of comedians. So the two niggas smoking weed, shout out to you guys, big time. But I'm also gonna plug this particular comedian. Uh, this is weird. This particular comedian has been out there and done it really, really hard. And his name is Charlie Mack. You guys have probably seen him before. But it's Charlie Mack, and he's doing a comedy clinic that's going out there. And I'll send it out through my website. But shout out to Charlie Mack, who's been all over this globe doing
And
comedy.
that's out here in Vegas.
Yeah, Charlie is actually, let me see, this comedy clinic that he's doing
It's
right
Arizona.
now is online, but I believe he's down in Texas. So
Okay, I got you.
it's like, it's all over the world. And then there's another comedian that I deal with named of Robert Kane. He's in Chicago. He's funny as hell too. But I'll see if I
How
can't
is
get them.
Chicago? How is Chicago for comedy? Is Chicago a big comedy city?
Oh yeah, yeah, big
Is it
time.
like that's one of like the big places, right? Like
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
old school where you hear all the comedians went through all the rooms and all the stories and
Yeah, like Atlanta and all that, and
yeah.
yeah. These two, they've hit both of them. Charlie Mack was actually on Kill Bill or Kill Tony not too long ago. So he's making some moves, and as I say, Robert Kane's been out there. He's two of the most funniest people I've ever seen. But they're also putting together, like we would say, as a legacy on being out there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
Yeah.
better if you know them, good job. You do very good job. If you don't know them, wait till you do. You're going to be mad you missed out.
Nice. Well, we'll have to look into that and just see how that's going too, the next time we connect with you. For sure. We've already been chatting over an hour now.
I know, I know.
It
I've been
doesn't
watching.
it doesn't even seem like that long. It seems like 15, 20 minutes to me. I don't know.
Because
I,
you
I
put
could
in a
I
lot.
could probably I could probably do this stuff all day long if somebody wanted to buy me a real station and make some real money where I could have some real people come in and host some real interviews and
Well, I'm not real.
hello.
I ain't real. I ain't real now. I ain't real.
That's not what I mean. I
I know.
mean on the internet type of stuff.
Like I know. I just like oh, I'm not real.
It's
I can be
and
real.
I'm very thankful. And so yeah, shout out to YouTube for allowing me to stream and pushing my videos in the algorithm. I curate playlists on YouTube, and so I just think it's really cool now that I'm doing my own thing. Coachella Valley Concierge is the channel that you are watching.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
you can
Thank
please
you.
subscribe to our channel so we can finally start getting some monetary for our views. We're down a few subscribers, so if y'all could do that for me or share, ask other people to do that just to get up to our thing, that'd be great. Because I think, like again, everybody's supposed to help everybody get to the next point. Like everybody can help each other get to the next platform. Like it is what it is. So, um, but yeah, we've been talking with the Colorado comedian this morning, and obviously, we are coming to a little bit of a close here. My voice is scratchy. I probably need some hot tea this morning. And yeah. Any last thoughts or any last shout outs that you want to give here, Colorado comedian?
Yeah, well, okay, look, check this out, guys. I don't normally do this, but shout out to you that's been watching. I'd recently say I don't do it because it's been a long time since I've done shout outs. You know what I'm saying? There's not anybody I really want to shoot out to, but as long as you keep breathing, as long as you keep living, you better keep on watching because I'm going to still keep on being funny. So shout out to you out there watching, and like she said, well, she said, do the whole subscribey and likey, and that puts money in her pocket, man. Come on, man. I ain't doing this for free. Okay, well, actually, I am, but you know what I mean. Subscribe, and then shout out to your mothers and fathers out there that have to deal with certain kids like me.
And me.
Oh well, yeah, I'm bad. I'm bad.
I had to like reach to the principal outside my classroom and stuff. I was like the teacher's aide in the office during like
Wasn't that bad.
class and stuff. Yeah, PE. I had to go take notes to all the other teachers. Like I couldn't participate. So yeah.
Yeah, I was more the virgin quarterback. Yeah, no.
Wait, a virgin quarterback?
Yeah, I was a virgin quarterback.
Oh no, we're gonna have to make that a whole nother episode on a whole nother show.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds really intriguing.
Mm-mm.
This sounds really intriguing. And maybe we'll be able to find a cheerleader who went to school with you to tell the confidential files.
Yeah, let's find one. I would love to find one. Bad.
You have yourself a good morning. Enjoy your coffee and your what do you smoke? What are you smoking on these days?
Right now it was a little bit of the
yeah,
it was a little bit of the Colorado grown, as I've called it, and I've always called it Colorado grown because I've grown it myself here in Colorado, which is cool. So my own strand that happens to be at Livewell and Light Shade, and a couple of different places that I've got it pushed out to.
Shout out to Livewell Dispensaries, one of my favorite dispensaries. And yeah, that's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, for that for now, and then as I say, depending on how things go out today, we're gonna get these show everybody that the Colorado comedian knows how to do some Philly cheesesteaks. That's going to come up here at
Oh yeah, knows I love Philly cheesesteak, and I am so hungry right now. Nobody has fed me this morning, so.
But, see, that's what you. And then, as I say, roughly at 1:30, 1:30, we'll be doing the pit stop. So I'll be throwing the pit stop off on Facebook. You should see it come up on your little timeline as soon as it shows up.
All righty. Well, you heard that from here. The pit stop. Tell them what the pit stop is.
Pit stop is just basically the weather, sports, and the local news here in Colorado given by your Colorado comedian. Most of the information comes off of 9 News down here. So it ain't fake, but it's been researched.
and how can they find the pit stop so they can tune in?
Yeah, pit stop would be normally on Facebook, as they say. So, like I said, again, you have to find Willie Smith under Facebook. He's got this nice little facial thing, looks like the guy behind me, and you can find it. You can find it. You'll see it. It shows up on Facebook. It won't be on YouTube yet because I have to, things, but yeah, it's gonna be out there. You know what I'm
saying? Understood. All right, you guys. Thanks for spending a little bit of time this morning with us. It is Thursday out here on the West Coast, and you're in the West Coast too because you're Midwest. So I do include you in the West Coast conversations, and because I also have ties and loyalties to Colorado. So Colorado is usually always included with my California and Cali, Nevada family. And again, you are listening to the Knock Knock, Who Is There podcast. And I am your concierge for both Nevada and California. Flower from Facebook. Have a good afternoon.